Okay, it's 4 o'clock on Thursday, May 14th, 2020. We have a quorum, so I will call this library board meeting to order. Everyone should have hopefully a copy of the agenda in front of them. We're doing things a little differently today because of the fact that we're in the circumstances of the coronavirus or COVID-19. We're doing this meeting by teleconference. There's only a handful of people here at the chamber, myself and Gabby is for members of the board. And then we've got April and Paulina here, and Steve's helping out in the back. So what I'll do is I'll call this meeting to order, which I just did. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through how we're going to run things is we're going to do a roll call for all the motions and seconds, as well as the, well, when you do a motion and a second, if you could identify yourself if you make the motion and or the second. And then when we do the voting, instead of all in favor, say aye and nay and all that, we're going to have to do a roll call. And so what we'll do is we'll have April run through the list of names, and then you respond either yay or nay. And then, so it's probably going to take a little longer to get through some of the things, some of the motions and such, but we'll try and expedite it as quickly as possible. So in order so that April knows who to call out, we want to see if everybody's here. So it sounded like we have Dave Martinka's online, Carl, Bernice, Margaret, Sue.
Here.
Who else? Is there anybody?
Geraldine.
Oh, yeah, Geraldine's online. Did David join us?
I'm here, yes.
Excellent, excellent. It's your last meeting. We were just giving you some grief when we started the meeting. We didn't hear you were online. Oh, and then, like I said, we have Gabby and myself here at the City Hall chambers. All right. So is that everybody?
That's everybody.
Okay. Ooh, wow. Excellent. So, and hopefully everyone has the agenda before them. So if so, then you can see it's printed. We don't have any changes or edits. So then I will make a motion that we approve the agenda as shown. And do I have a second?
I will second that motion, Susan Kimmel.
I have a motion and a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through, and I'll have April run through the names and say yay or nay if you approve. So I can start. So I approve, or yay.
Margaret Blomberg.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Gabby Budensky.
Yay.
Sue Kimmel.
Yay.
Carolyn Chelberg.
Yay.
Dave Martinka.
Yay.
Bernice Schmitz.
Yay.
David Wendland.
Yay.
And Carl Zeidler. Carl.
Yay.
Excellent. Everyone did a fine job on that first run through. That was kind of like a dry run, kind of a beta test. So looks like things are working smoothly. All right, now we have the introduction of the library board members. There's really not going to be much of an introduction since you can't see everyone, you just hear voices. So we do have Gabby Budensky joining us, who is taking Emily Corbell's place, who was only here for a couple meetings as it was due to circumstances. Her husband had accepted another job and they're moved out of the area. So welcome to the library board.
Thank you.
Gabby. I'm Vince Borgo and Paulina and April. And then everyone else you'll meet when we do get to regroup sometime in the future. I don't know if it'll be next month maybe, or hopefully.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Welcome, Gabby.
Thank you.
All right. Now the approval of the minutes, which were from the March 12th, 2 months ago. Seems like forever ago that we met. I read through the minutes. I hope everyone else has had a chance to do so. So I will make a motion that we approve the minutes. And do I have a second?
This is Geraldine. I'll second. This is Geraldine.
So I have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion, any edits, corrections that anybody noticed? Any additions? All right. Hearing none, then April, you want to go through?
Sure. Margaret.
Yes.
Gabby.
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Geraldine, Geraldine,
Yes.
Dave, Martinka, Dave Martinka,
Yes.
Bernice,
Yes.
David Wedlin,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
and Vince.
Yes. So we did pretty good on that one. Dave was asleep at the wheel there. I thought, after that first run, we were doing so well. All right. Now we got a little bit of a break, so everyone prepare for the next time they have to chime in. So now we'll go into the financial reports, and when we do the financial reports and the librarian's reports, what we're going to do is that we have 2 months of reports to go through, but I think what we'll have Paulina do is just give us the most recent month's update, but then call out any, like for the financial reports, any big expenditures that were hit in the March timeframe, and then same thing for the librarian's report, any major activities. So go ahead and take it away.
Sure. So we are 34.69% through 2020, and our budget is approximately 30.54% expended. Some of our expenditures included our quarterly service from Minnesota Elevator, Verizon, RVS. As you noticed in the March financials, the audio visual supplies line is about 68.48% due to the overdrive billing going through. So we will be getting payments from the other Brown County libraries for their share of that fee. But otherwise, I think we're looking pretty well. We did receive our budget information this week from the finance department to start preparations for the 2021 budget. And I'll have a preliminary budget for 2021 in next month's agenda.
Okay. So do we have any questions or issues for Paulina on the finances?
Yes, Vince, I have a question. This is Carl.
Go ahead.
I noticed I believe it was the April financial report, there was an item in there for $1,130 called a breaker motor. And it appeared that it was paid to Gog Sheetnow. Could Pauline or someone explain what that was?
Oh, sure. So one of the motor was replaced on the HVAC, on one of the HVACs above the children's room. So that was actually, I believe, two different things. One was for the breaker, and then we discovered that the motor needed to be replaced. So we think for now, our maintenance technicians suggested going that route instead of replacing the whole unit at this time. So we'll see how long that motor, hopefully it'll last us.
Yeah, I would think a new motor would last a while.
Yes.
Hopefully that'll, we won't have to replace a whole
Unit.
unit
Yes.
because that gets pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So. Okay, good question, Carl. I was a little surprised to see that, for in April here, with basically 6 weeks of shutdown, that we're only 4% under budget. I was thinking we'd be like 10% under budget or something because we're not spending. We don't have any spending any money or anything. But but you guys are still working and such. So and there's contractors coming in and out and there's repairs being done. So so it's almost like the library was open.
Little
in
bit,
that
except
regard.
with the patrons, yeah. So.
Well, but it's a good time. We can get a lot of this stuff done and not interrupt the patrons and such. All right, so if we don't have any other questions on the finances, we'll move into the librarian's report, and you can run it however you want, summarize it. Sure. Go ahead, Paulina.
So our the Youth Services Librarian has been hosting about 2 story times a week. We've been posting them on Facebook and our YouTube channel. So that's kind of nice. We get a lot of nice comments from people on social media.
Can you tell how many are dialed in or tuned in?
Well, we don't do it live. We actually film it,
Oh.
just for kind of copyright. Then we can kind of get it down when we need to after the publisher rights kind of go away once this is over. So we anticipate having to take most of them down. But we do see like the analytics, and that's actually a little bit farther down. It shows that over the last quarter, from January to April, we reached about 22,000 people in about 140 posts. So that was kind of interesting. In our overdrive statistics, if you look at the statistics over this time last year, we are about 500 over what our normal circulation is in overdrive. So some people have turned to our ebooks, which is nice. I think it's still a lot prefer our physical books.
Of course, the physical item circulation is way down.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The library supervisors have also been hosting a readers advisory session on Facebook called CBI. We called it the Cat Book Investigators. So people list the last 3 titles that they've read, and we suggest what they should read next. And for the most part, the last couple of weeks, we've been trying to include items that are readily available in Overdrive, so we make sure it's currently available on there. And then since we opened up contactless delivery this week, we've had 276 patron calls and about 121 patrons who have picked up items since from Monday to Wednesday.
That's good.
We don't have numbers for today yet,
And
but
I saw that was in the paper, so that was it was
yes.
widely distributed and published so that people would know. Now, is that only stuff that they can get from our library? Because the interlibrary loan stuff is not quite up and running yet, or?
Yes, and then I will get to that a little bit in the reopening plan as well, but I can talk about it now. We had a Traverse des Sioux Library Directors meeting this morning, and our courier has been pretty sporadic right now because they've been under the stay-at-home mandate. So some of the staff from TDS has been running stuff a little bit, so we don't get delivery as frequently as we did every day. However, we found out last night that they gave their 30 days notice, our courier service, to TDS. So so Traverse des Sioux is looking at another courier service at the moment.
Now, is that the one that we just ended up?
Yes. And
So
yeah.
was that the gold? Which one?
The other one, I don't know. There's someone, Ann Hokuson, the executive director, is speaking to, and I don't know if it's Gold Cross or not. It might be someone else. But right now, we've seen Casey, who kind of manages the courier service. I think she's dropped some stuff off, so we've seen her like usually twice a week right now. So they're kind of trying to figure out steps, what the routes look like. Their last when they gave their kind of notice, they did say that they could only provide service to 21 libraries out of the 38, but at the current price that had quoted before too. So like if we were to, maintain with them from here on out, it would not reach all the libraries within Traverse des Sioux. So that's where we're at in terms of courier. So that's a concern. So we are getting materials from other libraries. It's just not as fast as we normally do.
So we are going to see some interruption of service due to the fact that the courier
Yes.
themselves are.
It gave their notice to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now, do you know the reason for that? Are they going out of business?
They told the executive director of Traverse des Sioux that they're not seeing as much business within the communities. So a lot of we weren't their only customer, so we were just on their list.
Right.
A lot of the customers, I think, in some of the communities they were seeing, they no longer have business with them. So I think that's how they determined the 21 out of the 38 stops. It's more than likely communities that are not seeing other deliveries. So.
All right, so I'm sure more to follow on that.
Yes, we just found out about it yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is this
It'll be interesting.
COVID thing is really screwing a lot of things up. So
Yeah.
okay.
And then I can go on if you want me through the librarian's report. The Brown County Library Board is slated to meet on Monday, June 8th at 7 p.m. in Hanska. We haven't heard about that meeting just yet or how we'll conduct it, but that's just a reminder that it's one of our the 2 yearly meetings that we have with them. I'm assuming we'll be hearing more like within the next 2 weeks about
Okay.
that.
And so do you think it'll meet like we're doing here, like teleconference?
I
if
think
you
so,
can't meet in person?
potentially, maybe like Google Meet or Zoom or something. We'll have to, I haven't gotten in touch with the chair of that, but I'm assuming that's probably what she's thinking.
Okay.
Carpeting of the first floor will complete on Tuesday, and then it will more than likely start putting some stuff back together. The first floor is a little messy right now.
That's okay. We don't
Yeah.
have any patrons, so that's all right.
I know, but it's like mental space. Our children's room and painting went well. They completed about a week ago or so, maybe a little bit later. It looks really great. We're also kind of rearranging some of their furniture up there and kind of completing that. So there'll be a slightly different arrangement of furniture. We're putting some books back together that we took off the walls to get the painting done. And that's about it for that. So I think the Youth Services Librarian would like to do a big reveal. So I know we haven't really posted many pictures of that just yet. So we'll do that once we have everything in its place. As for library reopening plan, I shared my recommendation with the city manager for that. And we're currently like in our phase 2. We started contactless pickup this week. So patrons can reserve books online or can call the library. For the most part, everything in the building is easily we can easily get that. Obviously, because of the courier situation now, it might be a little bit longer than we're used to. And speaking of that, Minlink, the greater outside Traverse to Sioux, our ability to request anything has been suspended. So anything that was coming through the University of Minnesota, Minitex, so we can't request. I've tried. So it's pretty much, we're kind of sustained to what we have within this Traverse to Sioux library system. So we've been preparing for reopening the library. We did, the maintenance technician helped us and obtain and install plexiglass partitions at the desks and upstairs in the children's room. We've been working on staff workstations, kind of appropriating enough space like in the back because we are a little bit tight to a certain degree back there for some of our full-timers. And we'll be removing chairs for once we do reopen, and I know the Youth Services Librarian is planning on kind of taking away the toys, puzzles, things like that out of the children's room for the time being until we get back to our new normal. And we've been securing supplies. So the supplies we had ordered back in March were back ordered, and we finally got them, I believe, this week or last week. So we did put in another order because once I think we reopen and start really, just using a more sanitizer, wipes, things like that, I don't know what that will look like in terms of having enough supplies on an ongoing basis. So we did put another order, and I don't know when that will be in. So that's something we're kind of taking a look at. So at this point, as we kind of settle back in, we have to put the library back together a little bit after all our projects. We're looking at potentially starting appointments for computer use, like on June 1st, something like that, early June. About 4 people per hour, something like that, because of the executive order. I mean, we can't have more than 10 people in the building, but we do have staff too, so we kind of have to figure out how to make that work. And then kind of go from there in terms of still providing, obviously, the contactless pickup, and then kind of go from there on when we reopen. So that's kind of a part of our phase 3 in terms of reopening slowly to the public. One of our phases is to reopen with reduced hours with extra precautions. We were going to shut down the fiction and nonfiction stacks and just have browsing within that first floor too. Once we kind of get into the flow, we plan on we will not be doing any in-person programming more than likely through August. That includes a summer reading, which Catherine is working on a different way to do children's programming, obviously, for the summer reading program. And we will also not be taking any reservations for the meeting room. Through the end of July, August, donations, we plan on not accepting any donations probably till October or until the Friends start thinking. Haven't talked to our Friends of the Library president yet whether or not we will be doing a book sale this fall again. So I was thinking probably we would open that up in October if we plan on going through with that. And then my optimistic plan would be to open at our regular hours sometime in September or so, dependent on CDC and governor guidelines, and commencing in-person programming maybe in September. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But from talking with the other library directors and within Traverse to Sioux, I know some of the libraries don't plan on opening to the public till July, like late July. So it's kind of touch and go. So we'll see. We're hoping that once we kind of see how the computer usage goes in terms of the appointments, things like that, and kind of go from there.
As part of the extraordinary precautions, do you want them to patrons to wear masks and stuff when they come in, or?
We suggest if they like to, that'd be fine. We're not requiring it.
Okay, because
Yeah,
some
Mm-hmm.
retail places are requiring them, others
Right.
it's voluntary. So,
Yeah.
but I'm sure all this information will be published, like in the paper and stuff. And
Yeah, once we kind of figure out our timeline, yeah.
okay. Well, it's good that we got a partial, with the curbside pickup, and
Yeah, I
people
think-
are utilizing that.
Yeah, and I know I really think patrons really want to use computers too, and we'd like to, once they're set up, right now they're all kind of in the corner, but once we set up, we'll have to do the 6 feet
Yep.
distance, things like that. So I think at the beginning we'll probably only set up 5 or 4 depending on that space where they are. So we'll have to work on that.
Vince and Paulina, this is Sue. I had a question. Your plan sounds really good, but I had a question. I wondered if we could discuss the book drop-off. I know that people can drop off books on Monday and Thursday, but that seems like a point of contact at this time that might be a concern, at least for me. If we have a number of people that are opening and closing the book drop-off, there's a number of people that are touching the same area.
True.
And I wondered if, I don't know if we want to extend days for book drop-off. I don't know if that would help, or if we want to have someone cleaning that off regularly, or we want to have kind of a no-touch book drop-off where we just drop the books off in a box or some other spot where we wouldn't have to open and close a slot. I was just wondering if we could talk about that.
Sure, yeah, we could do that. We could do a plastic bins probably by the doors too when people drop off, when they pick up their contact list. We can take a look at that. I know the only issue is we could maybe kind of prop it open, but if it rains, I know it would get
Yeah.
So we would have to find a spot to put that, but if we could try to do that, yes. I know right now, so we're only doing it on Mondays and Thursdays to quarantine those in the in the bunker for a couple days, and then we take them out and bring them into the
Sue
library.
raises a good point about the point of contact being constantly
That's true,
used.
yeah.
So, and not everyone, may use gloves or have a
or a wipe in their car. Yeah. Okay. But we did purchase some big, April purchased some big bins for us for return, so we can maybe find another place for them too.
Okay.
We'll take
And
a look
then
at that.
Yeah, and that would probably mainly be when the library's open. I mean,
Yeah, that's what we were preparing for.
because
Yeah.
like overnight, I mean, you really don't want to leave the books out there unattended. And
Right.
they'll
Yeah.
end up going missing or something. Or okay. Any other questions concerning the librarian's report and/or the reopening plan?
Yeah,
Vince,
this
this
is Carl.
is
I
Dave.
have a question.
Go ahead, Carl.
I noticed since the disruption from the pandemic that the Sunday afternoon news and notes email doesn't seem to be as regular. And I'm wondering that given some of the changes that are going on at the library and how you're gradually opening and getting up and running again, if it might be possible for that news and notes to come out maybe every other or every third Sunday, so that those of us who don't subscribe to the Journal can stay updated on what's currently going on and maybe some of the things that are happening in the library while it's closed, just to stay current with the information.
Sure. We can do that.
Sounds like she'll make it happen.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dave.
Vince, this is Dave. I just have one question. I think I already know the answer. So if somebody wants to request a book or other materials and it's in stock down there, the best way still is simply to call down and you'll bring it out?
Yes, so we ask you to call us and we set up an appointment with date and time for you to pick it up. We don't actually take calls from the parking lot at this time.
Yeah, it's not an immediate,
So
I'm
you're-
waiting outside, can you run and get this book
Yeah.
for me kind of thing. But, I would like this book. I'll be down in a couple hours, can you have it ready at that time? And again, that's
What about when you reopen?
We will. We plan when we reopen at reduced hours for the beginning to still, depending on staffing, to provide contact lists for those individuals who would prefer not to come in.
So you would basically continue the curbside.
Yeah,
pickup
until for
kind
a
of
little.
thing.
Yeah, and see how we. It really depends on how we can staff both. Yeah.
So now, when people call, then some of them may not have access to the computer and stuff. So a lot of times, will they ask whoever answers the phone, okay, do you have this book available? Or
Yeah, and we get messages like that too, like if someone listing some titles, and we usually try to see if we can find them, call them back, set up a
Okay.
time. Yeah.
okay, good. So we do have some kind of means of people being able to, if they don't have
Request, yeah.
computer access, to check
Yes.
what's available in the library, that they could the staff could check.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we do also once in a while we'll have someone who's like pick some mysteries or biographies for me too. Well, usually I divert that to someone else who knows them better than I do.
Yeah.
Paulina's a terrible reader's advisor.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Hearing none, then we'll move on to the action items. First one is resolution. Oh, and I'm assuming there's no programming because we got nothing going on, even though there's some online stuff. But that
Yes.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to have April feel left out
Yeah.
because
Thank you.
hopefully we're keeping her busy doing other things.
Oh yeah.
All right, action item, resolution 2020-10, authorizing the city attorney to extend the building sharing agreement with NewCat. On June 12, 2008, the New Ulm Public Library Board adopted a proposal for redesign and use of library basement storage area as a community cable access office, CCAO. The agreement was for a term of 3 years with an additional 3 years at the option of the New Ulm Community Access Television, or NewCat. Further extensions must be approved by the New Ulm Public Library Board. NewCat has continued to rent space in the library under the fee structure established in 2008 and is billed annually by the library director. The annual fee is $3,000 for office space and $506.25 for storage and server space, with it coming in at $6.25 per square foot. In addition, NewCat pays 1.7% of the library's annual budgeted amount for utilities. That number was determined by, I'm assuming, a calculation of a ratio. The library and NewCat have developed a long-standing and positive relationship that is mutually beneficial as well as valuable to the public. Therefore, the library board authorizes the city attorney to prepare an extension of the building sharing agreement with the New Ulm Community Access Television, NewCat, that will be reviewed annually in August by the library board. Either party may terminate the agreement with a 60-day written notice to the other. The library director and NewCat coordinator will present this proposal to the Cable Advisory Board at its next meeting on July 16th, 2020. So I have a couple questions for this. So currently we're running on a 3-year
Yes.
program, and now you're suggesting that we do this an annual thing?
Oh, I believe I did not catch that. I actually used the one from last time, so I think we it was set up 3 years ago to run it on an annual basis in terms of kind of revisiting it each year. But
Okay, so
but this is-
revisited, but the terms of the
but
contract
the terms
is
of the
3
contracts
years.
are 3 years. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then I had asked you this when I was reading through the minutes reading through these last night, that the fees that we set and the rates for the office space, they're basically 2020 rates, not 2008 rates, correct?
Yes. Yes. So this
I
is
wanna
a
make
little
sure
bit
we're-
different than last year, mostly because our utilities are a little bit lower than last year.
I just want to make sure they're not getting too good of a deal here. So, they're paying their fair share, okay. Does anyone else have any questions regarding this before we get into the voting portion of the motion?
Yeah, that I just have one comment, and I would hope that is something that's agreeable simply to the director of the library and to NewCat itself. And I think they should be able to work that out.
Yeah, it sounds like there is mutual agreement
Yes.
between both groups, okay. And, one of the statements in here is that there's a long-standing and positive relationship that's mutually beneficial. That came into play when we were replacing, the sound system, projector system in the meeting room downstairs. They kind of helped out substantially with that from the technical side of
Right,
it.
yes.
So, all right. So if there's nothing else to be asked, then I will entertain a motion to authorize the city attorney to prepare the extension of the building sharing agreement with NewCat.
This is Carl.
I so move. This is Carolyn. Go ahead, Carl.
This is Carl. I'll make the motion to approve the agreement and have the city attorney prepare the document.
Okay,
And this is Dave,
Carolyn,
and
I'll
I'll
second.
second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Sounded like there was a bunch of people wanting a motion and a second, but we've got it taken care of. All right, so now we'll do the roll.
Margaret. Margaret.
Yes.
Gabby.
Yes.
Sue.
Yes.
Geraldine.
Yes.
Dave Martinka.
Yes.
Bernice. Bernice.
Yes.
David Wendland.
Yes.
Carl Zeidler.
Yes.
And Vince.
Yes. All right, so there was no no's in that, so the motion passed. All right, we'll move on to the next one, Resolution 2020-11, approving the recommendation for the disposal of surplus library items. All right, it's coming up. Oh, here we go. The library has a large surplus of library shelving, approximately 215 or more in various colors, beige, green, and dark tan, which are currently in library storage. These shelves have been unused for years as the library has decreased the number of library holdings. A goal of the strategic plan is to keep the number of library holdings under 80,000, and the library does not anticipate a future need for such a large number of shelves. The library will keep back around 30 shelves and brackets, accessories for library shelving that is currently used in the building. A large number of the shelving was acquired for free by the library director Carolyn Baird in the early 2000s from a college in Northfield, according to the maintenance technician. There are no wood or side finishes to the library shelving located in storage. Over the course of recarpeting the first floor, furniture moving was necessitated. The display case in the front of the service desk was moved and the area opened up. The library currently does not have a need for this display case, and it is too large and heavy to move to another floor. To keep the area airy, the library recommends surplusing the display case. Enclosed in the list are additional items. All items will be first made available to all city departments. The library recommends disposing of the items that I assume are untaken by the other city departments via recycling where applicable. And if recycling isn't an option, I'm assuming disposal or scrapping.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then I don't know if we can also, depending on what the items are in the list, we can include it in the citywide garage sale. But I don't know what the time frame for that is this
Okay.
year.
So there may be some possibility that the items are made available to the public in the city-wide garage sale. And I suppose that has to be reviewed by, I'm sure, legal or something for in terms of liability and all that kind of stuff. So if there's one of the other list indicates all the stuff that's available. I'm not going to go through the list. I'm going to not read it, but I mean there's a wide variety of stuff.
Yes.
And there's also some pictures too.
That's mostly of the shelving. Yes.
Yep, that shows the shelving, and there's looks like quite a bit of it.
It's not all the same picture.
And then just wondering, did you review the display cases Betty wanted in her garage or anything? I know, I'm sure it holds
It's very
an
heavy.
dear place in her heart. She probably doesn't even know about it, right?
Maybe she does now.
Is she still? Wow, is she still part time?
No. Oh, Betty? No, she retired.
Oh,
yeah.
I know she retired, but I thought she was gonna come back as.
She hasn't lately. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So then I will entertain a motion to approve the recommendation to dispose of the surplus library items.
This is Geraldine. I will move.
Do I have a second?
This is Bernice.
I will
and I'll
second.
Did you catch that?
Bernice, I heard
Okay.
first.
So I have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation for disposing of the surplus library items. So now, any further discussion, questions? All right, then we'll go through the roll.
Margaret,
Yes. Aye.
Gabby,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Geraldine,
Yes.
Dave Martinka,
Yes.
Bernice,
Yes.
David Wendland,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Vince.
Yes. All right, so that motion passes. Now we'll wrap up with the resolution 2020-12, accepting the January 1st through May 1st, 2020 donations and memorials. The attached list describes donations received from the library from January 1st through May 1st, 2020. This includes general donations and memorials. The Library Board of the New Ulm Public Library accepts these donations with gratitude to the donors, and then it talks about if we approve it as such. And so the list is pretty short list this time, but I'm thinking that again the COVID is impacting that. But total comes to value is $1,717. So I will entertain a motion to accept the January 1st through May 1st, 2020 donations and memorials.
I will second. This is Sue.
We need a motion first. Anyone want to make
Oh,
a That's
I'll
okay.
make the motion.
Okay, well, Sue makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Carl, I'll
make-
second.
This is Margaret.
We got a couple seconds. So then, any further discussion, questions, concerns? All right, hearing none, then we'll do the roll.
Margaret,
Yes.
Gabby,
Yes.
Sue, Sue,
Yes.
Geraldine,
Yes.
Dave Martinka,
Yes.
Bernice, Bernice,
Did you say Bernice?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
David Wendland,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Vince.
Yes. All right, motion passes. So now, other business. We got a send off for David.
We don't know.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, nothing official, but I mean, this is
Yes.
kind of.
No. Thank you, David, for your
I'm
time
sup-
on the library board.
I'm amazed that this meeting went so well,
Yeah.
considering all the technical red tape we had to go through. But yeah, so this is David's last meeting. So unfortunately, we can't all wish him well in person. But best of luck to you, David, and we thank you for your service on the library board.
Yes, thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, thanks.
No
Dave.
problem.
And then,
Learning experience for me.
and then best of luck to you and your.
We will miss you.
Yep.
Thank you.
So best of luck to you. And then I think in terms of a replacement, you've got some.
Yes, we have someone on the city council for on the agenda for next week.
Okay, good. So then once that gets approved, then it'll be at next month's meeting that
Yes.
we'll probably bring them on board.
Yes, we
Super.
will. Yep.
All right. Any other business that you need to bring up, Paulina?
Nope, not at this time.
April?
No.
Anybody else? All right. I know this format was kind of cumbersome, but I appreciate everyone's patience. And hopefully we'll be back to normal next month, but maybe not. It might be a little too. So we may have to do this again one more time. All right. Well, with that, I think
I
somebody's
know.
patience. It sounds like Dave Martinka's patience is running out. So, I will. Yeah. All right. Well, the meeting is adjourned then. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.